All right, welcome back, everyone. This is another episode 3 for the NFC East Roundtable. Tonight, we're going to go in depth of multiple different directions. We got a big matchup this weekend between the Cowboys and the Eagles. We have a Thursday night edition with the Commanders and the Chicago Bears, and then we had the weekend with the Giants and the Ravens. So, um, before we get started, Miss Reem with the cigar, go ahead and introduce yourself, ma'am.
Hey, I'm Sportsadelic. Those that know me personally can call me Reem. Go over to my YouTube channel, check it out. It is unplugged and uncensored.
Miss Nikki.
Cowboys Nikki. So that's it. That's all I need to say. I mean, I'm just saying.
And on that note,
These goddamn Cowboy fans, I knew this shit was gonna happen.
Miss and Zero is on you, man.
All right, me, Scrub Zero, Giants fan. Talk about my Giants. Go through the recap after every game every week. So I'm happy we 4-1. We gonna get it on tonight.
All right, and with that, I had to get that introduction doing.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? LiveWire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is LiveWire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
Okay. All right. You thirsty? Throat a little dry?
Nah, you don't want to say nothing.
Does the cat have his tongue?
You can't make this stuff up.
All right, we back, and
now we back.
No, you're back. We've been here.
All right. So tonight we're gonna dive in, and it's gonna be a fun night. So this hour might be a little longer than normal for us, but hey, we here to do and make it do what it do. Oh, also before we get started, I do have a special treat for the next show next week. I'm working on something special, a brand new intro, and I already have the logo for the show. So therefore, I'm cooking up something brand new for the show next week. So y'all stay tuned for that. All right, now we're gonna dive in. So Miss Reem, since you wants to be all on my head today,
Sportsadelic, please, sir.
Sportsadelic Reem. We gonna start with you. As you know, last week the Commanders played the Tennessee Titans. There was some good things and a lot of bad things within that. So, from your perspective, tell us, what do you think that is the biggest problem? Why we can't finish the way we need to?
Well, I mean, I'm no different than Ron Rivera, the quarterback. Now, a lot of people feel that he threw Carson Wentz under the bus, and there's nothing better than honest dialogue. What we're going to find out is if there's any competitive spirit left in Carson Wentz, because regardless of Ron Rivera trying to retract what he said, he can't take it back. Wentz heard it. So it's either going to motivate him if there's a competitive guy in there or it's not. So my thing is, people keep saying, oh, well, the offensive line, the defensive line. I'm watching other teams with offensive lines that are substandard. I can go to the Bengals out there. The Giants' offensive line isn't necessarily, banging it, So there's a plethora. Tom Brady, his offensive line isn't what it was. When your quarterback has the ball 60-70% of the time, because the quarterback has the ball the most.
Mm-hmm.
Can we all agree with that?
Yeah.
Nikki, can you agree with that? You gonna join us here?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so when someone has the ball that much, you cannot afford for their play to continue to digress.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be some mistakes? Yes. Will there be some interceptions? Yes. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, that your offensive line is decimated. That means you got to get the ball out quicker. And then when you have an open target, one of the passes hit me in the head. I was in the kitchen fixing me a drink, and one of Carson Wentz's passes hit me in the back of the damn head. We can't have that. We cannot
Oh my gosh.
stuff like that. And Rivera, he said it. He can't take it back. And they need to go ahead and pull the plug. Like I told you, the $28 million, we can't get it back. It's already gone. Money spent. And so at this point, let's go with Sam Howell, get the young blood in there, and let's just keep it moving. That's
okay. Okay. If I may chime in on part of that, I understand that he said what he said about Carson Wentz, but this is my thing. If you feel that way now about him, why go out and inquire him in the off season? Doesn't make any sense, because the fact of the matter is that your excuse was, oh, everybody all the other quarterbacks in the division been there longer. Jalen Hurts only been in that offense about a year. You know what I'm saying? And Cooper Rush he's been a backup. He really hasn't had no starter time. It's not like he started a whole season or last year. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Jones been up and down. Brian Daboll is probably help him a little bit with his mechanics, just enough to make him progress through this year. So my thing is, if you go out there and get a quarterback, you got to make sure that your quarterback and the offensive coordinator is on the same page. The offense is somewhat tailored around whatever skills he still have left. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Carson Wentz does make mistakes. I'm not taking away from that. But coaching is a big issue, because it was like that last year. Because when we had Taylor Heineke there, it's still been the same thing. The coaching is bad, and Ron Rivera, he don't want to admit that. And you could sit here and say Carson Wentz, but defensively, Jack Del Rio's defense is an issue, because you got the special victims unit on the other side of the ball with Fuller and
Wild Goose Chase.
No, not him.
He's trash.
I mean, and I'm gonna talk about the starter. I'm talking about Jackson and Fuller. You know what I'm saying? They the main ones. Right. So the thing about it is that so me personally, I just feel like it's a whole multitude of things there, and we'll probably later on the show we'll probably dive into a little bit more. So but I'm going down to Miss Nikki here. Your team is 4-1.
Uh-huh.
You know, they did a phenomenal job against the Rams. So do you feel that it's time for Dak to come back if he's ready to face the Eagles, or do you think y'all could still, because of the way y'all defense playing, y'all still could keep Cooper Rush in the lineup?
Let's keep it 100. We did win a game Sunday against the Super Bowl champs in LA, but make no mistake, that game was won by special teams and defense yet again. Cooper Rush only had 100 yards, 105 yards maybe, passing yards. In this league, it's gonna be hard down the stretch to sustain winning games with your quarterback only passing for that least amount of yards, because let's face it, it's not, the NFL is now turning into a passing league versus a running league. You
Mm-hmm.
know, your quarterback needs to be able to push the ball down the field
Mm-hmm.
when need be, especially when your team can't run the ball. Um, our identity is running the ball. We are a run team first. Um, but because they're stacking the box, we're unable to run the ball as normal. So we are relying on our defense and special teams to help us to sustain drives and to stay in games, because once we get in the red zone, we're seeming to stall. Um, Field goals are points. I take them, but I just feel it's so hard to get to the red zone. So when you get to the red zone, you need to be able to score in the red zone, because better teams and better coach teams that's gonna eventually teams are gonna put up over 20 points. Right now we're holding
Mm-hmm.
teams under 20 points,
Mm-hmm.
but better teams are gonna be able to score over 20 points.
Well,
So
but Nikki, do you think that they kind of handcuffing him a little bit? Maybe they should give him some opportunities to push the ball down the field, like open up the playbook a little bit.
the thing about Kellen Moore, he's either on or he's off. He can't do both. He's one of them. He's either gonna call plays exactly how they need to be called for you to win a game or stay in the game, or he's gonna call plays that's gonna fuck up a game. Period.
Kind of like Scott Turner.
You know.
Yeah.
So he's one or the other. You can't expect him. He's not in an adjustment offensive coordinator. Now, if you have an offensive coordinator that can adjust to what the defense is doing, then you can say, okay, well, we can open up the playbook and push this ball down the field. But as we've seen, it's plenty times that Cooper Rush have pushed the ball down the field that those balls should have been intercepted. It's just
Mm.
they wasn't intercepted. They were either dropped or it was a penalty that caused it to be negated. So I think they are doing simplicity football with him, keeping it simple, keeping it normal, and not trying to overdo too much with him, because as we all know, Cooper Rush has been on the roster forever. And he might know the system and he might know the playbook, but is he really the quarterback that can actually totally get the job done? He's not a comeback quarterback. So we fall too far behind down. You can't expect him to be that quarterback to bring you back into the game. I would not bring back for this particular game against Philly, because it's going to be raining in Philly this weekend. It's supposed to be like 43% chance of rain. This is not the type of game that you're going to bring your quarterback in that just coming back off of a hand injury,
Mm-hmm.
which on his playing hand. That's a recipe for disaster. So I think they're doing the right thing, not playing him in this game, letting Cooper Rush go ahead and play this game. Basically, play call should continue to be simple. Run the ball as much as you can, especially when it's going to be raining and wet, like they say. And again, we're going to have to rely on our defense
And
Mhm.
to do
cold.
their
It's gonna
job
be cold. It's gonna be a little
and keep
cool.
everything in front of them.
Yeah.
You can't let Hurts loose with running, because let's be real. If you look at the Philly, if you look at Philly, um, Hurts is the one scoring most of their touchdowns,
Mm-hmm.
and he's doing it with his legs. It's not so much passing it down the field, and down the field they're scoring touchdowns. He's scoring touchdowns. He's like the leading touchdown
I think he
person.
has like 9.
Right. So he's the one that's scoring the touchdown. So that's the person you have to focus on the most. I mean, then you got your good wide receivers downfield. You got Devontae Smith. You got AJ Brown. AJ Brown's stats are not as good this year, but he is that wide receiver that if you let him get open and he in an open space, he can kill you.
Exactly.
So I mean, I think they're doing the right thing by not letting that play in this game. I don't think this is the game that you would want him to come back in with the type of injury he had, especially with it being wet.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, I want to give a shout out to my guy TJ Sports. He's been one of my biggest supporters since I started this YouTube channel last year. He is an Indianapolis Colts fan, so that's why he put that. He says, he emailed Jim Irsay and requested for Knicks to start against the Jacksonville Sunday. He said no reply. Well, hopefully you get a reply before Friday.
Nicky Foles.
TJ. So, all right, so now y'all, the Giants is 4-1 also. You know, unbelievably, you know, hey, a lot of people say, hey, you know, for me personally, I say 4-1, 4-1. You know, you win the games that are presented to you, don't matter how it is. But y'all got a key win, one of the most important wins. Y'all beat Aaron Rodgers. That's the one. That's a signature win for the Giants
In London.
in London, exactly. So, kind of like recap that game. Tell us what was some of the key things that helped y'all win the game on Sunday.
And being down 17.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy thing is that I didn't even get to see this game live. I had to watch it. I watched it Monday on the recording, but what I saw from the Giants is that you know early on they had some 3-and-outs, so that forced their defense in the tough spot. They gave up a field goal and a touchdown. They were already down 10-0. Mm-hmm. What changed the game was that Wildcat run. What got the offense going? That Wildcat run Saquon had for 41 yards. I thought he might have had a chance for a little more had he kept it to the outside instead of trying to go back in, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But like that started that was the first of 5 consecutive scoring drives. So we got a field goal on that drive. The following drive we get a touchdown. So we were able to get it back to them. It was 10-17 at that point. The Green Bay scores a field goal before the end of the half, and then but that third the Giants did a good job in the third quarter. They scored another field goal. Then on the first drive, they
whose dogs are going crazy?
That's my daughter's dog. She got him.
Okay, can you mute your mic while he's talking so I can hear him, please?
But yeah. So after the third quarter, we got the first drive, the score, the field goal. We got the big stop, the sack on third down from Dexter Lawrence that knocked the Packers out of field goal range. That was big.
You mean Dexter Lawrence from Clemson?
Is he from Clemson? I think so.
I think he is.
Yeah, he got that key sack on third down, and they're knocking out of field goal range, kept the game a one possession game, and then the Giants went down the field. Saquon got hurt that drive, but Daniel Jones did a good job not making any mistakes. They score again, force a 3-and-out, then scored the go-ahead touchdown, and then got the stop on that last drive when Green Bay got to the red zone. So the Giants did a good job. What they did was stuck with the run because their offensive lines are a way better run block team than pass block team. They're down somewhat their wide receivers because of injuries. So they had to rely on that run game, but Slayton played well. My concern is if Daniel Jones doesn't have a clean pocket, if he gets pressure like he did against Dallas, and you don't even necessarily have to get to him, but if you make it that muddle, his decision making becomes less than ideal. No,
but now, Scrub. Now that was what I thought was significant. That Daniel Jones made critical decisions under pressure in that game.
He did.
Like he was throwing dimes. He ran when he needed to run. I mean, he made the right reads. I think his quarterback play is the significant reason why you all ran, because the critical third down passes, he was on the money. I think he's tired. I think he's tired of people saying that he's garbage.
He played well. He wasn't spectacular like a lot of people are saying. I didn't see spectacular, but he had a good solid game. He made the plays he had to. He didn't put the Giants in bad spots. defensively, we got let off the hook because the Packers stopped running in the second half. They Adoree Jackson went out. Rodgers decided, hey, I'm gonna throw at these corners, these backup corners, instead of sticking with what was working because they were getting us in the run game. But listen, I looked at Aaron Rodgers. He missed a lot of deep throws. This dude's done. I think it's time that we be honest about Aaron Rodgers. He's done. He's not the quarterback everyone says he is anymore. He doesn't trust his receivers because he kept looking for Cobb when he had other guys wide open. And it's not like they don't have receivers. They have receivers. But this guy is just too stubborn. And then he made those BS comments about, speaking negative things that exist. I'm like, bro, how about you actually hold up on your end and actually do your job? But it's 4-1. I'm happy this team is where they are as far as the record, but
you could always be 1-4.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. I'm just concerned if you know what? Yeah, I am concerned that if what happens if they get away from the game plan, but outside of the Dallas game, they haven't really gotten away from who they are, which is they need to run the ball. They got Saquon. You have some other backs that are solid, and all right, yeah, they're stacking the box, but they're using they have other ways to run the ball. There's a lot of different ways you could run the ball. You can run traps, you can run counters, even against stacked boxes. So all right, they stack the box, find a way to make it work if you really don't trust your passing game. And when you do pass, your quarterback has to be effective. And so, like Jose said, he panics under pressure, but he did. But I also heard Dable's been getting into him, just be decisive, not stop patting the ball so much. And he did a good job of just, all right, if this ain't here, I'm gonna do it. The coaching has been good. I
think Brian Dable is good for Daniel Jones because Daniel Jones is playing for a contract, for the season in the season because they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. So whatever Brian Dable could get out of him, you never know what could happen going forward.
I still don't want him back necessarily. That's a different discussion. So,
I had a question for Nikki.
Okay.
One thing that I seen that I didn't understand, I didn't like. I mean, look, nobody's ever going to question if Micah Parsons is a dog. Everybody know he is a dog. I mean, a pit bull. I couldn't understand with his groin being a little tight and everything, why they put him back in there. Because I still think you all would have got it done. Why risk a guy like that? And you hadn't gotten to that mid-season, that grind part of the season, so to speak. And I just didn't understand that. Because it could have always been worse in terms of pull his groin. And I have had a groin injury, and it's nagging. Once you pull it, you can't heal it during the season. It's just virtually impossible.
Right.
And I just was curious your thoughts about that.
He wanted to. I guess the type of player he is and the intensity that he has brought to the team, to the defense himself, they have allowing him to feel like he can make his calls. And the saying goes, no one knows your body better than you. And at that moment, he felt as though he was okay to still play. And they let him make that call. I mean, in the real world, coach, we might sit back and say, well, no, the player shouldn't make that type of call because it could hurt him down the line. It can hurt the team down the line. But when you have a player like him with the intensity that he brings and what he does on that line with your defense, and you let him make that call, and nobody knows his body better than him. And obviously he's probably had this happen before. I'm assuming with him in college. So he knew how far his body can go, how far his body couldn't go. So I think that's why they did the in betweens, taking him out, pulling him out, and letting him go back in only when he felt like they need to or he wanted to. But I think they let him make his own call.
What's going on, Chris? Shout out to you. That's right. Let's go, Commanders.
Where Chris? Would you tell me where we going?
Hey.
Would you answer that for me? I mean, I want to go somewhere. I just need for you to just tell me where we going, please.
He say y'all going up or yonder.
Okay.
I mean, the season could be very bad for us. The season could be, I mean, somewhat promising. We don't know. I mean, I think at this point everything is game by the game, and this is where I'm going to go to you, Sportsadelic, because I want to get your insight on how the one part of the game when we had that, I think the last drive, the drive to win the game, and Cam Sims made that catch and Ron Rivera challenged it. Some people say, well, hey, they're cool with the challenge, but that challenge cost us a timeout that we could have utilized when we was down there 1st and goal. Instead of, because they already had used 2, so they was rushing, they was against the clock. But that one timeout, if he didn't challenge and we had that one timeout, could that help us potentially ran another play to help us win the game, or what? So how do you feel about that challenge?
I think if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. It was a stupid challenge. I could see it. I just don't know why they couldn't see it. That, hey, this is not going to be overturned. Like we could see it. Or am I tripping? Did you not see it? Like it was going to be.
I seen it. I mean, and I was like,
so why are we challenging?
I was saying to myself, don't challenge the call, because I already knew the situation of the game, because it was 3rd down and 1. So you went for it on 4th down and 1 and got it. What makes you think you couldn't get it the 1st down on 3rd down and 1 and still stop the clock? That would have stopped the clock to reset what is like an extra timeout anyway. So you would have still had 3 timeouts to work with down the field. I don't get it.
Well, it's a whole lot that I didn't get that particular game. And the insomnia is just going to increase because of this damn game tomorrow. So I won't sleep Friday and Saturday. You know what I'm saying? It's, because we're digressing. That's my only issue. Like, we can lose every game, but if we are competitive, if we're making game-winning decisions, like you're trying to win, and that's my only beef, even with Carson Wentz. That goal line play, 2nd down, go back and look at it. He could have walked in the end zone, but what that showed me was he pulled a Matt Ryan. I'm not willing to sacrifice myself to go in there and get that. He's 6'5". Only thing he had to do was run and then just poke the ball over the line. He's not. He's playing to keep from getting hurt. You can see that. So he can't squeeze the ball or something. If he's not throwing an interception, he's fumbling. He looks like a shell of himself, and we're not helping. I do know play calling is a factor. I get it, but hats off to my receiver. He showed up with a nice couple of bombs. Like I thought Wentz was ready to ball out that 75-yarder.
There was, it was good moments until, towards the end, what I'm saying? So it's tough,
Well, he's still dropping back. He's still dropping back 20 yards, throwing it 5 yards. So.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing about it is, he ran.
That is a damn lie, Jose. You don't love this panel. You love Nikki. You already told us that.
Oh my God.
You already told us that, player. Don't be trying to play me up here, man.
What I was saying that Wentz, he ran the ball for yardage throughout the game. So why not run the ball? But like you say, he didn't want to throw his.
He's a pansy.
He didn't want to put his body on the line. If that was Heineke, he would have put his body on the line. He would have dove in there. He would have separated his shoulder like he did 2 years ago, when we was in the playoffs against Tampa Bay.
Or how about give it to my 6'1", 225 rookie running back who they made such a big deal about him playing,
exactly,
flying his family in. Give it to him three full times until we get in there. Because that's where your team can be sparked. That's where something can happen. Guys, I'm telling you right now, I'm not calling no damn pass play. You're going to punch this damn thing in the old school way, or some people going to get cut. Something.
Mm-hmm.
But Wentz almost threw an interception on first down. Let's not forget it.
It was 3 times. 3 pass plays almost been for interceptions.
Well, the last one was the interception. So,
yeah, the last one was the interception.
Yeah, we didn't even make it to 4th down. But on second down.
17 carries for really? Just 17 rushes? Ain't no wonder y'all losing. Carson Wentz don't need to be throwing the ball 30+ times.
Yeah, he's like what? He's like 5th in the NFL in passing.
And what good has that done?
Nothing.
1-4.
So, Sub, I'm gonna come to you real quick. I know we touched on it a few minutes ago. What do you think Brian Daboll's plan is for Daniel Jones as the season continues to progress and goes? As y'all, because eventually y'all will play a little tougher competition, and say what Daniel Jones has a decent year, and knowing Brian Daboll from Buffalo with Josh Allen. Now y'all are 4-1, but what if y'all was to win like 10 games on the season? Y'all, I mean, it would be hard for y'all to, try to like get a quarterback or draft a quarterback.
It'd be hard to draft a quarterback. Dable said all positive things about Daniel Jones, but I take that with a grain of salt. I don't know if that's just him being a good coach, or if he really believes that Daniel Jones can be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it's going to look until the season ends, because I don't think the Giants are going to make a decision until that point as to whether they're going to keep Daniel Jones around or not.
Yeah.
So really, it's just going to come down to his decision making and his execution. Because I think this was his first week. The first game this year, he's passed for over 200 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He's only 20. He dropped back. He had 28 pass attempts because he got sacked once.
Yeah.
I don't know whether the Giants. I don't know, because the Giants have to run the ball. That's where, because I don't trust the ball in Daniel Jones' hands any more than 30 times. I know he had over 30 attempts against Carolina, but look at who was on the opposite sideline. That was Baker Mayfield. He can't be trusted.
I don't know. I think sometimes these coaches start comparing their guy to the guys in the division throughout the league, which sometimes I think is unfair. I don't think you can compare a dual threat quarterback to a pocket passer. A pocket passer. I don't think you can do that fairly.
Mm-hmm.
But because Daniel Jones might be perfect for that offensive coordinator system. Now, but if you can compare him to Jalen Hurts, if you want to compare him to Dak Prescott and Josh Allen and all of those things, and Lamar Jackson, then that becomes, I think, kind of skewed, and and let's face it, it's tough. I mean, come on now. You know, God knows I spent my years in New York. That's a tough place to play. I don't give a damn if you're just doing hopscotch. I mean,
Right.
I remember the hopscotch, game, being intense. Like we used to time, like you had to hop your scotch, pick your shit up, in 10 seconds or less. It's tough. And mentally, it takes people a while to be able to wrap that city around them and have the city embrace them as well. I mean, Philly single-handedly, the fans single-handedly got Wentz out of there.
Right.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, listen, we know about Philly. They booed Santa Claus. Ain't no one safe.
Right.
Yeah.
But
ain't nobody safe in Philadelphia, boy.
But with Daniel Jones, the thing is that at least for me, I still see a lot of the same issues that I've seen in past years, which is why I don't want to give him a contract extension. It then becomes a question again of who's available to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you saying you're seeing the same issue. I see a very different issue, and I'm saying that because this same time last year it would be 1-4.
Right.
So he's doing what he's supposed to. The Giants kind of hang around. They just kind of hang around. And Daniel Jones is a big reason why they're hanging around. Especially when he starts running.
He's not making the same. Like it's not so much like once the ball snapped, it's the pre-snap stuff that's where I'm still seeing some of the issues. Because he's like with the blitzes, if you can create the illusion of pressure, and then you got a team that can actually knows how to you create the illusion of pressure pre-snap and then get the pressure at post-snap. He still struggles with that. Now that's where I worry with him. I don't know if Baltimore. Baltimore can create pressure. I don't know how they're gonna. I haven't looked too closely at how they've played defense this year, so I don't know how much they're gonna blitz or not blitz or stunt and twist, because the offensive line has struggled with the stunts. But like that's where I worry, because if they run the ball like they have, it'll force it sucks up the linebackers. It makes it. I don't need Daniel Jones just straight dropping back and then having to having to read the defense from there, because he is not done.
But that's my point. Every quarterback needs a running back, and every running back needs a quarterback. Like that's a marriage that has to be good. And it has to be. And I just think as long as Saquon has the ability to keep him out of second and third and long,
right,
then he may be the perfect guy, for the offense. I mean, we had Mark Rippon and won a Super Bowl. Do you recall Mark Rippon just lighting it up?
No.
He wasn't mobile. He wasn't a damn thing, but he was perfect for that system.
Right.
And Daniel might, as the season, go on. I don't know. I'm just saying. I say some different things.
No, that's a fair point. I'll admit that. It's just that I see a ceiling with it. I've seen 3 years. He's doing better in some areas, but it's like some of what I see, some of the issues is still the same, and that concerns me. And I'm like, I've seen enough of this story to know that if there's an upgrade to be had, I'm not just saying like trying to make a lateral move unless you're getting a superstar, but like trying to get like going from a Daniel Jones or Carson Wentz or something like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
All I know is I'm sorry, LiveWire. All I know is they had Drew Brees out there in a trashy system, and he came over here to the Saints. He got in the right system for his ability, and the rest is history. Now, I'm not saying that Daniel has that type of upside, but it may be in his best interest to be in a different system.
It might be. I think this is. I will say this. This has been the best offense Daniel Jones has been in for what he does. It's kept him out of making those mistakes, and he's starting to make. And he is progressing in this offense. I will give him that.
I just think they're doing the same thing. He went through the same thing that the organization is doing the same thing to him that we did to Jason Campbell. I can't have 3 different offensive coordinators and stuff every year. Right. I got to learn 3 different offense. You can't keep doing that, especially with a young guy. No, we should have gotten more out of Jason Campbell.
You can't keep doing that, but that's why I'm not falling in love with it. Because at some point, when do we say, all right, yeah, you can't keep flipping systems, but when does quarterback start being more consistent? When does he at least where do you see where at least like, all right, this guy is more of an asset than a liability? When
you look over there in your column and you see that you're 4-1.
Okay, that's
all right. So with that being said, now I was listening to a segment early this week, and it was talking about the NFC East, where could 3 teams make it in the playoffs. So Nikki, I'm gonna go to you. With the Eagles being undefeated, knowing that they got a matchup with Dallas, Dallas 4-1, Giants 4-1. Is there any scenario throughout the season if, say, these 3 teams continue to win the way they're winning, barring, they all have to play each other at some point in time in the division? Do you see that 3 of these teams can make it in the playoffs?
I mean, if they keep going the way they're going, it's possible. But being that we all have to play each other again a second time, I expect somebody to fall somewhere in between that's going to catch the short end of the stick. I'm not sure who it's going to be at this moment. Right now, it looks like Philly will be off top, the front runner to be in there. I think Cowboys and Giants is going to be the 2 teams that's going to fight it out for that spot.
All right. Let me.
I predict that Dallas will win because I'm still not sold on Jalen Hurts' ability to read defense when he's under pressure, and I'm going all the way back, to college. Because that is what we did to him. Clemson University said, you know what? We're not going to let this dude, run. We're going to make him beat us with his arm. And that's how we got to see Tua in the national championship game. If he can't get outside of that pocket and do what he does, and he has to sit back there with pressure, the type of pressure we know he's going to get from Dallas, and throw dimes, I don't think his game has progressed to that. Now, if he shocks the world, and that's what it would be, if he shocks the world, then Philly's going to win because they'll have too much working and to your point, Nikki, then Cooper Rush has to play from behind. And when you're playing from behind, the clock is the enemy with the run game. So he's going to have to throw. Maybe more than what you guys want. That's just my take. Guys.
My concern with it's going to be interesting with that because, particularly Sunday's game, Dallas has to survive, has to not get avalanche in that second quarter. Philly's killed teams in the second quarter with their offense.
Yeah, I think they outscored opponents. I think it said 109 or to
yes,
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's been something great after this past week, 100 and something.
Right.
Yeah,
but it's crazy because they score better in the second half, but our defense plays better in the second half. So we don't know. I mean, to me, that's when our defense turn on the Jets, turn on everything in the second half because Dan Quinn goes and make those adjustments.
Well, that's a damn lie because it looked like the Jets were turned all the way on in that first quarter. I don't think
Right, but
Stafford didn't know what the hell was going on.
right, and
It's
right, but then you
Stafford
also
ain't
see
nobody.
that he had Diggs in the slot in the beginning, and seeing how he was getting killed, being in that slot with
Mm-hmm. Cooper
then
Cup.
with Cooper Cup, and then in the second half he was like, okay, I can't do this. I got to make these adjustments, and when he did make those adjustments, it was a total shutdown. So
To,
we basically
Well,
shut teams down in the second half.
to your
well,
to your
with I'm sorry,
go.
real
Oh
quick.
no, go ahead, sir.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead. I go.
with that Cooper Cup touchdown, that was it wasn't even so much like that was a mismatch. It wasn't really a mismatch. It's just Diggs got a little too aggressive.
Yeah, he was
As
just
he
out of
always
position.
Just
as he
yeah,
always do. Yeah.
no, but he's trying to because he wasn't even in bad position. He just tried to undercut it when he should have
Right.
stayed on top and he would have had to tackle or pass breakup.
Right.
But it's not like he was so far out where it's like, oh dear goodness.
Yeah.
No.
I give
It
him a
was a
little pass
perfect.
on some of that
Mm.
though, because
It,
Diggs is transitioning
Mm-hmm.
from wide receiver to cornerback. It's only like his
Right.
fourth year playing cornerback. So he's still learning some of those spots and bright spots of being a cornerback.
and then he'll learn. And then
Yeah.
that was a perfectly thrown ball too. Like
It
that,
was.
Right.
but he'll learn when he's dealing with these veterans because they're savvy. He'll learn that, okay, I can do that against these sorry ass receivers over here with Washington, but I can't, do that with some of the veterans.
Our receivers ain't sorry, so I'm not. Gonna,
it's
I'm
not
not gonna say
the
that.
sorry quarterback.
It's the quarterback play.
Although Matthew Stafford can be quite sorry himself.
We got good receivers on our team. We just need a quarterback that could get them the ball the right way.
And they need to come back to the huddle.
I just never understood why y'all even wouldn't get wins. I just never understood
that. I didn't understand it either.
And to your point, Nikki, that's what I kept saying to myself. I kept saying, we kept saying Deshaun Watson, we kept saying Russell Wilson, we kept saying Jimmy Garoppolo, we kept saying Aaron Rodgers, all of these guys. I didn't want none of them because the price was too steep. I didn't even want Wentz. I wanted us to go in the draft and just draft a quarterback and let this guy be the staple for us. We already had Heineke back there. Build the offense around Heineke. Allow Heineke to do whatever. Yeah, I understand that his arm is not strong enough, but there is some things that you could tailor to him to help benefit the group of wide receivers we got. We have too much talent on offense for us to not be explosive. We should be having right now, if we had a right quarterback that could read defenses, get the ball out quicker, and get the ball to the receivers the way it's supposed to be, we could easily score 30, 40 points. And we had, and I'm going to just say this, if we had somebody like a Patrick Mahomes or Brian Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, we would be just like the Kansas City Chiefs, because all you doing is putting the ball all over the place, you know what I'm saying, and giving everybody opportunity to have mismatch. You got to create mismatch with your team. You got to understand, okay, if Trayvon Diggs is on Terry, move Terry around. You got to move your best receiver around. You can't keep him on an island and expect for him to go one-on-one and beat this guy that's playing over top of him. You got to put him. Look how the Rams move Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp single-handedly catch all their passes. You know what I'm saying? He had I think he had over 100 yards and that 75-yard touchdown. But if you look at the Rams, they move Cooper Kupp all over the place. Even though Allen Robinson and all of them hasn't been very productive, but they move Cooper Kupp. That's how we need to move Terry around. And De'Ami Brown, now that Jahan Dotson is out probably for the next after this game, give De'Ami Brown, he could be that speedster, move Terry to a different area. It's ways to do it, but we don't have the quarterback that can sit there because he sees ghosts all the time. So my thing is that I feel like if we lose this game tomorrow night, we just need to go and let Taylor Heineke and somebody else run the offense and do whatever it is, because there is no way we could continue to go with wins and continue to lose. Each game gets bigger and bigger, and tougher teams we continue to play.
Well, I think with like I said, I still felt like it was Heineke. He should have started and let him lose his job on the field based on performance during games. But right here, right now, go with Sam Howell because his arm is certainly. He reminds me of Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson with the Redskins. He had a solid, stint with us. He's not going to hurt you. He's not going to turn the ball over, but he has a cannon. And Sam Howell's arm is not Aaron Rodgers strong, but it's stronger than Heineke. Mm-hmm. So then that's my only concern with Heineke. I don't know that he can get the ball like that pass that went through to Brown. Heineke wouldn't have the arm strength to get that there.
Exactly.
And so that becomes a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is we have pieces, we have talent. And right here, right now, because the quarterback has the ball as much as he does, he has to capitalize on those easy opportunities when you're on the 1 yard line, when it's a 3rd and 1 and your tight end is out here in the flats by himself. That's the only thing I'm saying. Decision making. I can expect that I'll take poor decision making from Cooper Rush, who hadn't been started. But we're talking about Carson Wentz, who probably not for injury, they still would have went to the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know if he'd have got it done. That's the only thing I'm saying. His decision making is of a first-year guy.
That's not good.
And he looks like he don't know the offense. And when I say don't know the offense, meaning he doesn't know where the ball is supposed to go on these plays. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
And then, go ahead, Zoe.
No, because you've seen them more than me. But how about how are some of those passing concepts? What are they called? Are they putting the ball? Are they calling plays that make it simple for Carson Wentz to be like, all right, it goes here, it goes here? Because at some point,
yes, he's missing a lot.
He's missing a lot of throws.
He's missing a lot of throws and overthrows, or just don't see him at all.
But then you got it. Then it's on the coaching side. Like, all right, he's missing throws. Let's find a way to run the ball because we can't trust him. So it all goes hand in hand.
Right, but they don't run the ball enough. They don't stick to the run enough when they do get like when we play.
You know why? Because we be down. We be down.
But when we
down enough to stop running.
Yeah, I mean, it was 17-21. I mean, throughout the game, you could still establish the run at some point in time. Luckily, we got doing 2 bombs from De'Ami Brown, because what if De'Ami Brown wasn't in the game and he didn't play? How we was gonna score? You gotta take what the defense is giving you at some point in time and stop trying to go for the big shot. I mean, you got the talent there. Shorten the game up. Make it tough for the defense. But our defense had 5 sacks that game. 5 sacks. We hold Derrick Henry to right at 100 yards, 102 yards. The defense did their part. The offense should have been out there putting more points on the board than they should have. We got them 2 big touchdowns for De'Ami Brown, but there was more plays on that field that we should have had, and we should have capitalized a little bit more.
1 of 11 on 3rd down, 9 penalties, 71 yards.
Well, maybe this is all by design. Maybe they want Wentz to crash and burn so that nobody has to hear his mouth again about wanting to play anywhere and just keep it moving. I don't know. It's something is missing from here, guys. Something is missing that you would continue. I don't know any other organization, even Mike Tomlin. He just said, look, hey, it's nothing against the quarterback. We got to try something different.
Exactly.
And Rivera needs to have some balls and say, and say, you know what, Wentz, taking the ball out of your hand. I'm just trying to spark the offense at this point. You know, and we know from when he was in Philly, I don't like him because of how he was towards Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he did nothing to try to be supportive of this young man. You know, because he felt like he should be the starter. He was sulky. You know, you could tell he wasn't happy for any of Jalen's success.
Yeah.
He's about himself, man.
He wasn't
Yeah.
happy for Nick Foles. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
wasn't just that didn't just start from there. He's
Right, that's true. Like he's about himself. He's selfish,
Mhm.
and the game has passed him by, and we need to move on. You know,
Yeah.
from him.
So now we're gonna transition to matchups. So we did kind of like go over a little bit. So Nikki, since you have the biggest game of the year, in which um, definitely y'all will be on TV. 4-1, 5-0. Both teams got really good defense. Um, really good defenses. What is going to take for y'all to, slow down Jalen Hurts and Philadelphia Eagles?
Blitz. Jalen Hurts has as bad record against the blitz. But we're gonna have to blitz him. Keep him in the pocket. Don't let him run. Don't let him loose. That's one. Force him to use his arm to beat us. He can beat us all day long with his legs,
Mm-hmm.
but his arm. I don't think he still has the arm to 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 do it. Um, Main thing is gonna be blitzing, and our O line is gonna have to definitely hold up for
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Rush because he's a statue
Yeah.
back there. So O line is definitely gonna have to help out. They're gonna have to find a way to create holes for running between Zeke and Pollard. They're gonna have to keep the ball on the ground as much as possible because again, it's supposed to be kind of windy and wet in Philly Sunday. That's gonna be the biggest thing is not letting Jalen Hurts have the chance to beat you with his legs.
Okay. All right. Sports. I know you have to dip out real quick, so I just need your um, prediction for tomorrow's game between the Commanders and Chicago. Even we in Soldier Field, so um, do you think we could get a win?
I just don't. I think that we can. I think that we can. I just don't know that we will because we have one of the worst problems that you can have in sports, and that's finishing. That's finishing the game, and we haven't shown that we have the ability to finish. I do think that our defense has played well enough for us to just as easily be, 4-1 with everybody else. I really do, honestly. When um, but I just, I don't know. And what I do know, we cannot let Justin Fields get outside the pocket either,
Mm-hmm.
because it will be a long, 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 long night for us. So I think if we can contain Justin Fields, same thing, make him beat us, prove that he can beat us under pressure with some throws. And if Wentz is making the right reads, just hitting the check down, um, and move up in the pocket when that pressure is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Little adjustments here or there. I think we can make it very interesting and get out of there with a W.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Scrub, your Giants against the Ravens. That's a tall task with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, it is. Because now he's the same thing. You want to keep him in the pocket, but he's a better pocket passer than the other guys that the Cowboys are going against. He
Right.
actually has no. He actually would prefer to pass from the pocket. He'll escape if need be. He'll make his plays, but So we got to come at him different ways. First we got to contain so we don't give him an easy escape route. And then we got to collapse. We got to get the pressure up the middle. We got to stop the run game too. Now they haven't been great with the run this season for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I could get we got to win the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. If the Giants are going to win this game, and then basically the same formula. It's been run the ball, play mistake free, and then
hang around,
just stay in it till late in the game. But I honestly, can the Giants win this game? Yeah, I don't have them win this game. I actually got them losing.
Well, the last time you had your Giants losing a game, they won.
No, I had them beating Green Bay.
Okay. No, I'm talking about the week before.
Against the Cowboys, they lost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I picked them to lose that game, they lost.
Yeah, okay.
I'm 5 for 5 as far as my picks with the Giants this year.
So Nikki, give me your final score for Cowboys Eagles.
I just said I don't know because this game go anyway. It's a division game. We played both really hard, but I think our defense somehow gets it done, and I say we win by field goal.
Okay.
Ooh, tight one.
I when she was giving her analysis for this game, I and especially with the weather factor, because Cooper Rush has, you don't want him to try to be going down the field. You want to use a running game to your advantage. I think Dan Quinn is he's going to disguise a lot of different packages, especially with Michael Parsons, to confuse Jalen Hurts. I think Philly's defense is going to play a factor also, but I think the offense of Philly going to have to execute a little bit more. I think it's going to come down to both teams' defense, but I think Michael Parsons is that X factor on this team, and Philly don't have a Michael Parsons, and that's the difference between this. And I could see if Dallas wins this game against Philly, I still say Dak won't play the next week because this is I mean, the more you let him rest and you bring him back when need to be. But I think this game right here, the Dallas defense is playing so phenomenal. And granted, Philly and Dallas are the two top defenses, one of the two top defenses in the league right now. So this is going to be a defensive battle. It's going to come down to turnovers and who's going to be able to execute in that game.
Well, they don't have a Micah Parsons, but they do got that damn Cox. He's a beast. He's a beast. They better double team and keep his ass out of there. I think if Dak's ready to come back, he needs to come.
Peters is playing Sunday.
Yeah, I think if Dak can come back, he needs to come back. It's an appendage, and the more he can get it moving and strengthen his grip the ball, the sooner the better, with that type of injury. And then my God, it's his throwing hand.
Right.
So
sports, give me your prediction for the Commanders and the Bears for tomorrow night.
Well, it's like I told you, I felt like we could get it done, and if we do, we'll win somehow by 1 point.
I think for what I have seen from the defense last week, I think they get hungry. I don't know when Chase is coming back. He's supposed to be activated after week 5. So hopefully he comes back in the next game. But if Montez Sweat has a game like he did last week, and Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, they playing lights out right now. And Obata has played pretty well too. So if they play the way they played against Tennessee, and I don't think the Bears offensive line is like Tennessee. So if they could do the same thing they did, I think we could probably win a close game like 3 points. I just don't think Carson Wentz is going to drive us down the field to put points on the board. I think they did not. We got to utilize the run. That's the main thing. We have to utilize the run. Brian Robinson's back. Ride him. I mean, ride him. You know, there's a lot of different ways we could do this in this game, but it's going to be raining. What transpired with Ron Rivera this week is going to show a lot in this game because that Doom Comics is going to be headline tomorrow night. So we're going to hear it all again. So with that being said, guys, sports has to leave, so we can say goodnight to sports, and then we could carry on for a little bit more.
Hey guys, as always, I enjoy coming on. Thank you, LiveWire. But like I said, I always enjoy coming on to this particular channel, and I'm still on Rivera's side. I was a professional athlete, even if it's nasty and ugly. I always wanted my coach to be honest with me because that's how I got better. And again, we will find out tomorrow if there's any competitive juices left inside of this godforsaken man.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the way I see it. You know, and Nikki, I'm gonna call you later.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah, I'll be up.
No, I was asking LiveWire. Is that okay if I call Nikki later?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. It's okay.
All right.
After 30, well, I have class in like 20 minutes. So,
well, you call me. Call
I'll
me
call
after
you when I
class.
get out of class.
Okay. You only got 20 minutes of phone call though. Sports. That's
all right.
That's all you get.
I'm gonna make sure I put the timer on so I can show you.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
All right. Okay. You all have a good night.
You too. Bye. All right, guys. So we're gonna try to wrap up a little bit because I know Nikki got class. So overall, this is probably the most competitive that the NFC East has been. Unfortunately, the Commanders is not along for the ride right now. Maybe a win could change something for them to get them back going. We have to see tomorrow night. I do like what I see from Dallas. Me and my brother-in-law and my sister talk all the time because they Dallas fans. You know, I always told my brother-in-law, I said, hey, I'll send you the link. You can tune in. You know, I got this phenomenal lady on here. She's a Cowboy fan, and she knows her sports. She knows her Cowboys. The Giants is an amazing story. I hate to say it. I mean, it's like, regardless of what y'all doing over there, Brian Dable's doing.
It's working.
It's working. You can't really beat up on Daniel Jones too much because right now, Brian Dable is putting him in certain situations. Now, if y'all had Carson Wentz, then that would be a different story. You know what I'm saying? Just like Sports said, I think it's time for us to really, if we lose this game tomorrow night, I think it'd be time for us to either go to Heineke or Sam Howell. It's no way, because right now, looking at the draft order, we are number 4 in the draft. We 1-4. We tied. We're number 4. I don't want to think we're going to continue to lose games just for a draft order, because if that's the model, if we lose 2 more games, I feel like Ron Rivera is tanking this team, and I don't want to think that way, you know, because we see, you know, teams tanking the NBA all the time. I just don't want to see us tank. But if that's the model, then that's what happens. But
I don't think y'all can afford. Ron Rivera can afford to tank. I think he might find his way out. He will have a bad season.
Well,
right.
Well, the niche to that is because he runs the team. He makes all the decisions. That has to come from Daniel Snyder to really like say, hey, okay. And this is how I felt early this week. I say Daniel Snyder will have to fire him but if things go for the worse, he'd probably give Ron Rivera another year and say, hey, you're going to have to get rid of your offensive coordinator and you're going to have to get rid of your defense coordinator. You're going to have to bring somebody in here that knows football and probably take some power out of his hand and make him just solely coach the team and let we have a GM, but the GM is not making the sound decisions because Ron Rivera is making all the decisions. So therefore, what's the purpose of having a GM if your coaches have all the power? That's just like Bill Belichick over there in New England. They don't have a GM. It's Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. So, I mean, they do it in Washington just to make it look, quote unquote, look good. But I mean, you can read between the tea leaves, Ron Rivera. That's why he could talk the way he talked. That's why he acts so nonchalant on certain things and then comes back and apologizes. Yeah, we all gave him a pass because he had cancer, a couple seasons ago. But now it's about football, man. It's about these X's and O's. It's not about sitting there, deciding who's right, who's wrong. If you didn't want Carson Wentz, you shouldn't bring Carson Wentz in there. You could have just drafted Sam Howell or Ritter, whoever you wanted to, and we could have rolled with them in the beginning of the season. You put a whole team together for a quarterback that the offensive line is a makeshift, and he done got beat up so bad. Now he can't even function properly. So you didn't do him no service. You know what I'm saying?
And I think he's afraid to get hurt because he's afraid to get hurt because he knows if he get hurt again, that's what his name has been around the league. Carson Wentz can't stay healthy. So it's going to be hard for any team to even want to fool with him. But even with the display that he's showing now, it's still going to be hard for any team to fool with him. They may bring him in as the backup somewhere. But for me, I could never understand that. Why would he go out and get Wentz? Wentz is drafted in 2016. He's the only quarterback from that draft that has been around the league. He's the only quarterback from that draft that's not with his original team. And I know a lot of teams and a lot of players at one time, like even us, I've never was, but some of our fans were saying, "Oh, we need to get Cam Newton." I just didn't understand that because the relationship that Cam Newton and Rivera had, I was like, okay, so why would you not go get Cam Newton over, Wentz if you just had to? But after seeing Newton even go back to Carolina, I was like, okay, maybe it's just not a misfit. It's just a misfit. Maybe it's something happened behind the scenes with him and Newton that we don't know about. Because being a coach of a player that long, it seemed like to me that would have been his more option of saying, let me get Cam Newton over here. I just never felt like Wentz was the right piece for you all.
This is what I had. You probably hit the nail on the head about the Ron Rivera and Cam Newton situation. But when Cam Newton had Ken Dorsey over there as his quarterback coach, you saw Cam Newton mechanics kind of like got a little bit better. He was able to throw the ball a little bit better. Soon as Ron Rivera got rid of Ken Dorsey, he fired Ken Dorsey. You saw how bad Cam Newton's mechanics got after they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And I was like, why would you not want a quarterback coach or your quarterback coach? And I think the reason why he got rid of Ken Dorsey, because Ken Dorsey was a threat to either his job or Scott Turner's job. And now look what Ken Dorsey at. He took over for Brian Daboll over there in Buffalo. And it makes so sense. And I say, if Ken Dorsey was the quarterback's coach in Washington, he might see some things to help Wentz or Heineke, for that matter, or Sam Howell, whoever we had. But Ron Rivera is so stubborn. If it ain't his way, is no way at all. And it's just sad because this team has too much talent just to be wasting. It's like we don't went through so many quarterbacks. I can't even. At this point, I can't even name them all off the top of my head because we don't went through so many. And I'm sitting here looking at the Giants. I'm sitting here looking at Dallas. I'm sitting here looking at Philly, and I'm like, man, come on. Even look at the Jets. They got Zach Wilson. They got old boy over there. Oh shoot, I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head. But
what team?
on the Jets,
Oh, you mean all their quarterbacks?
yeah, but
Like Flacco and
yeah. And look at Geno Smith. Look how well he's playing, even though their defense is bad, but Geno Smith is playing competitive football.
Right.
You know,
that's Big Geno.
So there ain't no, you cannot sit here and tell me that you can't get Carson Wentz to play competitive football, you know. And I just feel like I said earlier today, it's some of it is on Carson Wentz, but majority of it is coaching. And they don't know how to coach. They don't know how to coach quarterbacks. They don't know how to develop players. They don't know how to put players in the right position. And it's just sad. It's just sad to watch. And every year is like, oh, we got all this talent. We about to do this. But then lo and behold, there's always something there. If we get injured, we can't execute on the field, and it's just bad. We spend money on players, on cornerbacks that can't even cover in the league. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, I'd rather take a wide receiver from our team and turn him into a cornerback like I did Stephon Diggs. At least we'll know he'll go out there and compete and cover.
Right.
So
and that's what I always say. Coaching matters. I say it all the time. Even when we had the issues with our coaching staff, with Jason Garrett and, Linehan and all of them, I said coaching matters. I understand that the coaches are not the ones on the field playing. I know the players still have to show up. The players still have to execute. They still have to do their job. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have coaches that can instill these things in you, you're not going to get it from them on the field.
Exactly.
I think it's time we just come to the point and say that Ron Rivera is not a good head coach.
No, I think his time is up. I think he was at one point in time.
I think maybe we overrated it. Like we say he was good in Carolina, but was he really? When you look at all those teams and look at how they did, like they got to the one Super Bowl. Was he really a good head coach?
Right. And sometimes it's the players that make the coach look good.
Mm-hmm.
It's the talent that makes the coach look good, And I mean, why are we talking about coaching? I know this is primarily about the NFC East, but let's talk about the Denver situation. I just, with Russell Wilson, he got paid all the money, but the coach, he's not the right coach for that team. I mean, his dad was a bad coach in college, so. I just don't think he is the right coach for that team. I don't think he's the right coach for Wilson.
You know what happened? They put all the chips into the table for Aaron Rodgers, and they didn't get him because that's why they got the coach they did because they're thinking, all right, we're gonna get Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna have a guy he's comfortable with, and we'll work off of that. Though you don't get Aaron Rodgers, now you get Russell Wilson. Well, that's not what the plan was. And you're seeing Nathaniel Hackett he don't know. He looks like he don't know what he's doing out there as far as calling plays, play design, decision making. Remember the opening game, instead of going for it on 4th and 5, he lets the clock run for 40 seconds and then kicks a 64-yard field goal.
Yeah, and the thing about it is because Nathaniel Hackett had that personal relationship with Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers would have been running the team.
Right.
And it would have been Aaron Rodgers' plays, design. Daniel Hackett would have just been benefiting that because they just wanted somebody there so Aaron Rodgers could just, like how Peyton Manning, when Peyton Manning came to Denver, John Fox was the coach over there. John Fox was in Carolina. He didn't do it. He went to one Super Bowl in Carolina. You know what I'm saying? And he been all them years over there with Steve Smith, and then Ron Rivera took over. So John Fox was over there, and Peyton Manning just did all the work. He brought his system over there. Same thing with Bruce Arians when Tom Brady came over there. Good thing Brian Leftwich was there, But
they brought over Tom Brady's offense because Bruce Arians' offense was some BS. Like, you get a bunch of yards, but you put your quarterback in such bad positions, they have a bunch of turnovers all the dang on time. There's no way. That's why they struggled early on that first season with Brady, and then once Bruce Arians got out the way, you saw what happened. They won the Super Bowl.
Honestly, if Ron Rivera was such a bad coach, I don't like Scott Turner. I really don't like Scott Turner because Scott Turner cannot coach. He cannot coach a quarterback into
Or an offense.
Certain situations. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know how to put the quarterback in the perfect situation. So it don't matter what quarterback we got. I just don't think that Scott Turner is that offensive coordinator for any quarterback. We just need somebody that really knows about offense, quarterbacking, and stuff like that. And I just don't think that we have that guy. And I think if Ron Rivera don't make a decision with him or Jack Del Rio, it's going to cost him. And I think, I mean, Snyder holds the team hostage because he's the owner, but I think, push come to shove, he's all about his money. So therefore he's going to do whatever he feel best. But I mean, some people say Sean Payton out there. I don't know. Sean Payton is, I think his time is a little bit past too,
I don't know why so many people are still so high up on Sean Payton, because I'm like, he was with the Saints. Yes, he got into that Super Bowl. He got into the playoff 3 years in a row. But that's it. First round, and then he stalled. They never got out the first round again after
because
that.
he wants to be air raid as opposed to running the dang on ball.
Right. He wants to change plays.
They've always had running backs. It's not like they were lacking at that spot.
Yeah, he wanted to be cute.
He wore Drew Brees' arm out. Pretty much, he wore Drew Brees' arm out. So, well, I want to say this has been another great episode tonight. But we definitely do it again next week, same time. Hopefully by next week, I will have that new intro and everything looking pretty good for us. So, hopefully Andre will be back next week because he couldn't make it. So he did text me, let me know that he couldn't make it. So that's gonna be fun because I definitely want to see Nikki and Andre go. Nikki and Andre go ahead.
Yeah.
That's gonna be.
I still need the Eagles and the Cowboys to lose on Sunday. I wish both of them could lose.
That's how I feel when y'all play. I be like, I wish they both could lose.
Well, you know, if we lose tomorrow night,
it's hoping for y'all.
I'm telling you, I'm going in. I'm gonna do a post game video, and I'm just gonna go in, and I'm just like I say. Sometimes I do a pregame, but I save everything for post game because I just want to see the game and just do my analysis. I do have two special guests on the show on Friday for my Aftermath show. It's a special edition Aftermath because I did my Aftermath show on Monday, but this one is a special one because I'm supposed to have two really good YouTube guys on my channel. So, but the link will be in the description box. It'll be posted. If y'all on Facebook and everything like that, send a friend request. We all could keep connect. Link up. Yeah. So definitely. But thank y'all again for another episode. I love it. I like hearing y'all different takes on everybody's team, and definitely we probably next week we'll probably do our division and get some stuff, and then I want to try to go around the league a little bit just to see what we're looking at in the league also, because that is a little bit helpful on that part too.
Right.
So Nikki, have a great night in school. Make sure if you're on Facebook or email me and
I'll
let me know.
My name on Facebook and on my IG.
Okay, sounds good. And Scrub, and I'll tune into your show tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you have a show tomorrow?
With my guy Jose Rodriguez, we on his channel, calling the game. Oh, that's good.
Oh, okay. Well, just send me the link. Whatever, I tune in, I'll join in.
Yeah. All right. So definitely do that. And again,
it's all about support each other.
Definitely, we got to, So, but y'all have a great night. I see y'all on the flip side. All right. Peace.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.